what being alone really does to your brain. It changes everything. Deep divers, I went to university and studied psychology, and I got a degree in psychology and criminology, and I actually did a dissertation on this stuff. So it's a fascinating topic. Look, there is a huge difference between loneliness and solitude. One completely destroys the human mind and one completely transforms it. And most people have been taught to confuse the two. And in this video, we're going to set the record straight. It's not only going to blow your mind, it's going to empower you to become your greatest version at the same time. Hit the like button right now if you support the real. Hit the like button right now if you support the real, because we got a whole lot to talk about. Peace. Infinite waters, diving deep once again. Beautiful deep divers. I woke up like this, all magical and fly, just whoa, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Charged up, raising the frequency. I feel so much better now. Raising the vibration. Take that, take that, take that. Good ass energy I'm sending you. Lonely. I'm so lonely. Deep divers, are you lonely? So many people have heard that social isolation is more dangerous than smoking like 20 cigarettes. Oh my gosh! You're looking a little bit shaky, baby. Well, fear not, deep divers, because in this video, we're really going to talk about this. What being alone really does to your brain. It changes everything. And once again, there is a difference between loneliness and solitude. So when you look at Buddha, this great master, would you say Buddha is lonely? Or has he found nirvana? I think Buddha is at a place where most people would love to be. Peace, quiet, harmony, tranquility. Now you can't find that in a crowd, can you? And we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello there? So deep divers, let's talk about it. Let's take a deep dive. What being alone really does to your brain. It changes everything. Now, there are a lot of videos out there which are scaring people to death. Social isolation is more dangerous than alcohol. Social isolation is more dangerous than smoking 20 cigarettes. Oh my gosh! So I must be in a crowd, right? I gotta be around people, deep divers, all the time, 24/7. Otherwise, it's gonna be bad for my mental health. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's just that a lot of people confuse the two. Yes, there are studies which show that loneliness, prolonged isolation, can be very detrimental to your mind. Okay? We're talking, though, about extreme isolation. We're talking about elderly people living alone for a prolonged period of time. We're talking about like solitary confinement, okay? We're talking about people who never leave the house. We're talking about the worst conditions ever experienced, okay? That's what the research is showing. The evidence suggests chronic loneliness harms the brain, but intentional solitude, deep divers, can actually help it recover from overstimulation and constant distraction. Here's where it gets really exciting. There are people right now who are actually improving their mental health by avoiding the crowd. So this is like a great paradox, because you've got a lot of people telling you that if you don't have any contact with people, it's bad for you. When that's not true at all. In fact, it can be tremendously beneficial for you if you are choosing to be alone. I have a saying, deep divers, you probably heard it. We are never alone unless we abandon ourselves. Slow motion this side. Say it again, Ralph. we are never alone unless we abandon ourselves. So I wrote this down many years ago because a lot of people thought that, hey, if they spend time with themselves, it's a bad thing. No, deep divers. When you actually have that me time, when you actually embrace yourself, when you actually spend time with yourself away from the crowd, you can actually heal yourself. You can replenish your energies. You can gain greater clarity, introspection, emotional self-regulation improves. Meditation, Dr. Sarah Lars, the neuroscientist, shows how just 8 weeks of meditation can actually increase the hippocampus, which deals with emotional regulation. So when you realize that actually you have to be able to use discernment. Of course, solitary confinement is not healthy. Being in the house all day is not healthy. But it is tremendously beneficial to go for that mental health walk every single day with yourself. It is tremendously beneficial to spend time with yourself every single day. It is tremendously beneficial to not be afraid of being with yourself. You see, the truth is, deep divers, most people are so scared. Terrified, petrified, really looking shaky, baby, when they're by themselves. I don't want to be a loner, Ralph. Well, there's a difference between being a loner and being alone. Being lonely is when you are disconnected from the whole. Being alone is where you reconnect back to it. Slow motion this side. Growing up, deep divers, a lot of people just naturally gravitate towards me. For some strange reason, I have no idea, ask the cat down the road. But I'm weird because I love people, but I also love spending time with myself. I'm good. You can place me in a desert and I'm going to be doing a little samba, baby, raising the frequency. I'm good. I love people though. So even when I spend time with myself, I've never, ever felt lonely because I see the superpower in being alone. Now, there was a time in my life when I was working in the Matrix, 12-hour shifts. I was around a lot of people all the time, but I actually, for the first time, felt lonely, even though I was immersed with a lot of people around me. And I realized one thing, that if you are somewhere in an environment where a lot of people, you don't get them, they don't get you. This is what social isolation is. And there's a pandemic, an epidemic going on right now with social isolation. Because a lot of people have a lot of people around them, but they are isolated. That is torture. That is actually worse than any form of punishment. Because there are people around you, but you can't express yourself. There are people around you, but you can't be yourself. Now, I realize one thing. When you actually find your tribe, beautiful things happen. Deep divers, never ever be afraid of being with yourself. You know why a lot of people are afraid of being alone? Because a lot of people they're caught up in human doing. They're human doings, what I call human doings. When the truth is, deep divers, we came here to be human beings. And all the great masters, Buddha, Krishna, Jesus Christ, you hear of these stories of Buddha. Look at Buddha, he's alone for a reason. Because he knows the crowd is lost. The crowd is the distraction. The crowd is all about conformity. The crowd is the group think. The crowd traps us in a limited mindset. So many people who have learned how to embrace themselves, they're so strong. I had to learn how to stand in my truth alone. There was no one there to hold my hand, but through it, I became so strong, unstoppable. So you have to remind yourself that the people who are able to embrace solitude, embrace being alone, realizing they are never ever alone unless they abandon themselves. Once you forge a better relationship with yourself, deep divers, you will become your greatest version. Okay, now listen very closely. Your brain changes depending on whether your aloneness is chosen or forced. This is huge. Your brain changes depending if whether your aloneness is chosen or forced. Did you choose that? Congratulations. But some people, they're like, this is forced. Loneliness drains the mind. Solitude can rebuild it. Loneliness drains the mind, but solitude, deep divers, can actually rebuild it. And that's the reason why when you want to concentrate, when you want to gather clarity, what's the first thing you do? You go somewhere where there's less noise. You go somewhere where you can find some peace and quiet for a reason, because that's how you actually start activating the higher regions of your brain, the neocortex, the hippocampus. You start stepping into God mode, but you can only do that with peace and quiet. There are a lot of people right now who are caught up with a lot of people in the club. You can find me in the club, a lot of people there, but guess what? They're lonely. And that's the worst feeling, being around a lot of people, but still feeling alone. But then there are people who have chosen, keyword chosen, to avoid the crowd, and actually they're healing themselves emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, and this is how you become your greatest version. There would be no infinite waters if I didn't take time to meditate in the forest every single day for 3 hours. That's what I was doing before infinite waters, and I suddenly got this download that, wait a second, I can breathe in that good ass prana, baby, and share my story with the world. It only happened because I distanced myself away from the crowd. You see, the crowd is the trap. You got a lot of people who are trying to keep up with the Joneses, all because of groupthink and conformity, comparing themselves to other people, buying things they don't need with money they don't have to impress people they don't even like, all because they're afraid of being by themselves. Deep divers, learn to embrace yourself. What being alone really does to your brain, it changes everything. Now, the truth is, deep divers, it's all about the level of consciousness you have. Consciousness is awareness. And there are some people who actually selectively choose, keyword choose, to distance themselves from people who don't have their best interests at hand. And that's phenomenal. That's what I did along my early journey, because I realized that actually not all energy is good energy. Not all company is good company. And I don't want to be around people just for the sake of saying, hey, I'm around people. There are a lot of people who have a lot of friends, but they're completely lonely. Let me repeat that. There are a lot of people who have a lot of friends, but they are completely lonely. Then there are people who only have a few, but it's the quality over the quantity. Deep divers, stop being afraid of being alone. There's actually a superpower in being alone. Rites of passage all throughout Africa, South America. When you wanted to become a man, you had to go through the rites of passage, spend 40 days and 40 nights in the wilderness to find yourself. You want to find yourself in life, you're going to have to learn how to be alone. You can't be around people 24/7. Born alone, you're going to leave here alone. And I had to learn this, that actually what I have to do, I've got to learn how to spend time with myself, because I got to get to know who I am. I got to get to know who I am, what I like, what I don't like. And it has changed my life for the better forever. Deep divers, look, let's talk about this. Most people in this world, they are overstimulated and they're not truly connected. They're doom scrolling because they're missing real connection, not only with other people, but with themselves. Slow motion this side. I want you to know, deep divers, every single day that yes, you don't want to be lonely in solitary confinement, but you do want to remind yourself that the strongest minds learn how to be alone without feeling lonely. The strongest minds learn how to be alone without feeling lonely. And that's what I had to do. Is completely transformed and changed my life. I'm living my best life right now, deep divers. Hit the like button right now if you support the real. Share this video with someone who needs it. We are never alone unless we abandon ourselves. Subscribe to the channel. Join the YouTube membership. Just put out a video there. You're going to love it. Click join down below. And of course, go and get the brand new book, Feel Alive 2. Over 500 pages, The Bible of Becoming Your Greatest Version, now out on Amazon and at ralphsmart.com/thebook. Click the link down below. Join the brand new Patreon page, Deep Divers, designed to help you become your greatest version. Patreon.com/ralphsmart. Click the link down below. Go and get the Good Ass Prana shirts. All new designs you're going to love. ralphsmart.com/clothes, spreadshirt.com if you're in America. Click the link down below. We are never alone unless we abandon ourselves. And that's why I'm just saying, feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello there? Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Infinite waters, diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace. Yo! Once again, deep divers, hit the like button right now if you're ready to embrace you. Share the video, subscribe to the channel. We are never alone unless we abandon ourselves. One love, peace.